Hi, before we get started with the episode, we just wanted to point you in the direction of the social accounts we've set up for the show to help you guys engage with us and communicate and get involved with our show.
You can email us at can'tdisappointpodcast@gmail.com.
Emailing us will really be the best way to talk to us directly and conversate with us on air during the show.
Also, be sure to like You Can't Disappoint a Podcast on Facebook.
And you can also follow us on Instagram at Can't Disappoint Podcast and Twitter at You Can't Disapod. That's disapod like disappoint. So there's one S and two P's. Well, thanks for tuning in, and let's kick off the episode.
Here we go.
Last call.
What is taking so long?
Hand them a sandwich. Try it.
Like Judy Meter's going crazy.
Girls are supposed to dance. That's why God gave them parts that jiggle.
I'm fat and I'm physical.
Smiling sideways vagina.
I am a Spanish genius.
It's not a meteor, it's a cookie one.
My name's Alex, dude.
You're like the exact opposite of an antioxidant. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bert, I got self-esteem falling out of my butt.
Oh, your parents are divorced.
So you have to pee. I need to talk to you.
Do you have to pee?
No.
You could be a plumber.
I thought it was pain, but I'm just bleeding. Talk about luck. Ugh.
Oh, that's nice.
Fight.
That's black. That's racist.
Damn.
You've become something unstoppable. I hereby pronounce you a community.
What's up, every guys? What? Every guys? What's up, every guys? Welcome to a very special incarnation of You Can't Disappoint a Podcast, the only community podcast that there is, and that's a proven fact. It's a very special episode this week because we're finally done with season 1.
Yeah, thank God. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we've hit a cool moment. On to the next, on to the new. But let's take a look back at where we've been, Zach.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of a victory lap tonight. And to do this, we have some very special guests, the other only community podcast that there is. We've got Dom and Andre of the famous Dom and Andre in the Morning here with us. What's up, guys?
Hello. I'm Dom.
And I'm Andre.
I don't want to do the thing.
No.
I'm sure you can imagine how that normally would be followed. So for you guys that don't already know of Dom and Andre, what can you guys tell people about what it is you guys do?
The same thing as you guys, except no, pretty much the same thing as you guys. But we also talk about the story circle at the end of the episode. I think that's pretty much the only difference.
And I think that's a great angle. And just, I don't know, based a lot off of your Twitter presence, I really appreciate the kind of weird counterculture thing that you guys got going on over there.
Thank God. That's exactly what we're going for.
So yeah,
we do watch the Chevy Chase show sometimes. The short-lived Fox late night show starring Chevy Chase.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it. So it's not like a sketch comedy show. It's like he's Jay Leno.
No, yeah, he started, unfortunately, at the exact same time as Conan O'Brien, and then he was done within 28 days.
He started the week between Conan starting and Letterman starting.
Oh, wow. My God.
It was
That's
like
a tough time.
Conan, Chevy Chase.
How old would Chevy have been then?
Ooh.
Too old to be doing that.
He still looks young. We've determined he starts looking old right around the year 2000.
Okay.
Almost exactly. We have that pinpointed. But yeah, we watched the Chevy Chase show. We talked about math last week. So there's some fun, crazy, wacky extra content sometimes.
Totally. I think it's about time that we bring this bitter rivalry to a close and break bread together. Because, honestly, even though on paper, sure, we're the exact same show, I don't think that's true at all. I think we both got our own thing going on. And I also think that, if you listen to one of us, you'll probably like the other one. So if you haven't checked out Dom and Andre's show before, you should go do it.
Yeah.
Give it a listen.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to, have people that are at the exact same spot pretty much in the show to look back and talk about season 1, just kind of relax as a whole. It's been a lot of fun. Have you guys had fun podcasting about it?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
Andre, have you had fun?
Yeah, it's been fun. I enjoy this. It's been interesting.
I feel like this is like a blink twice if you're being kidnapped situation. It's like
Andre holds up a
Someone
tiny
please
piece of
save me.
paper that says "Help me."
it's been
Well,
really
all
cool.
he knows, I text him that we need to do the podcast, and he says, "Oh God, I just woke up from a dream about Al Gore."
Oh wow.
Wait, that actually happened, didn't it?
That's hot.
That's something that I actually did text you.
Al Gore. I feel
that's
you.
not a bit.
Was it a nightmare or was it like you guys were just hanging out?
I don't remember. I remember Al Gore
I
being
feel like
there,
it was
but
a positive dream if like Al Gore was in it.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. It could have been like some sort of climate change horror dream. No, so
Come with me, Andre. We have to save the climate.
It's up to you.
So, had you guys done any podcasting type stuff before? Or was this your first foray into the medium?
Ooh, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've, dabbled in the world of the internet before, but I think this is, yeah, I mean, I feel like it was something I'd always, like, kicked around, but I just, like, never felt the impetus. But then I was, like, really obsessed with Community again, and Andre had just started watching it, like, since it got added to Netflix, and I'm like, oh, this is, like, we could talk about this. There can't be anyone else who, like, still cares about Community. Like, what
Right?
a deep dive.
We were all like in it, obviously, not just being the two of us. There are at least 10 really cool shows run by awesome people that all of a sudden I think we're like, hey, this Community show is kind of catching a wave. Let's hop on that. And we all did it pretty much the same time. But it's cool. I love that. I've said it 1,000 times. I love that we all hang out instead of it being.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. I figured we'd start off with the negative and talk about the worst of season 1. Before talking about like specific bottom episodes, what are things that like of a show that we obviously talk about because of how much we love it, and there are so many more things we love than we hate. What do you think season 1 did like wrong, or worse than it did the things it does right?
Am I
To anyone, I'll open that question to the floor.
Yeah, I mean, looking at like the lows, I have this big chart in front of me of like the averages and like the like basically our 2 ratings that we gave in each episode, and then the averages for all those. And honestly, like looking at these episodes, like Communication Studies, Basic Genealogy stick out. It's really just like normal sitcom episodes. Like at its worst, it's just like a plot driven, like romance driven kind of derivative sitcom. Like at its very, very worst.
I definitely talk a lot about how the pilot of Community I really enjoy, but it kind of feels like a pilot of a different, more color inside the lines show than what it ended up being. And there are a handful of episodes in the first season that kind of feel like what more episodes of that show would have been. Yeah. And the ones that you bring up are definitely some of those. And they're still good, but when you bring it up to something like contemporary American poultry or like physical education, there's a stark difference between the type of thing going on. What do you think, Steven?
Yeah, I think the parts of Community that even if they don't rub me the wrong way, they certainly don't rub me right. Is like when they really egg on like the romances, or Jeff being just like really sleazy and kind of a douche. And I think it took a little bit to figure out what they wanted to do with everybody, but once they figured it out, it was great. But it's just, and you have so many characters, it gets tough.
It really surprised me almost how much for most of the first half of the season I did not care for Jeff at all. Mm-hmm. And it did change, and I thought they did that really well, and it seemed like a on purpose change. But Andre, had you watched all of the show before you guys started recording, or were you kind of watching as you're doing it?
I have watched like almost all the way through season 3, I think.
Okay.
And nothing after that.
So
it's like I stopped watching it once we started doing the pod.
Mm-hmm. And then Dom, have you been a fan for a long time?
Yeah, I think I was watching it as it came out, starting at like season 4.
That's where I was too.
And I wasn't very attuned to like what was going on with the show at that point. In fact, it's even possible that maybe the reason I caught up is because I read like an article about what was going on or something. but I just know I was caught up like from then on.
I think so too. I'm also someone who, like, I watched Arrested Development for the first time because I kept seeing reports of there maybe being an Arrested Development movie. I was like, oh, so it's this cult thing that's getting picked back up. That's probably something worth going and looking at. So, Andre, not having seen much of it before, how do you feel about Jeff? Do you think he's consistent as a character, or do you think he starts out kind of shitty?
Yeah, I think he definitely starts out pretty bad. He's like not a great person.
Yeah.
I think he improves though throughout season 1. I think he's a much different character than he was at the beginning.
Without feeling like, you know, like in Ebenezer Scrooge, overnight he's seen the error of his ways. I feel like they do it really gradually, and they still let him screw up a lot of times, and they still let him be selfish, but he opens up his circle. So let's talk about what we think are the bottom 3 episodes. Dom, I'll let you go first, since I think you might have already spoiled a couple of them.
Well, yeah, sorry. I wasn't sure
okay.
if this is something we were specifically going to get to. I mean, so it looks like, apparently, so my absolute lowest is weirdly communication studies, which we had physical education in between communication studies and basic genealogy. And so I think in that week, I like forgot that I had rated communication studies so low. Mm-hmm. If I could go back and like fudge the scales, I would probably take basic genealogy down to be the lowest.
Yeah.
Andre and I lined up on that pretty much exactly. So, but I think it's still fair to say those two. And after that, I'm not I think this is even what came out of like our numbers is probably after that, the pilot.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I know a lot of people have problems with the pilot, and I totally see them because it is very conventional. But I think I just love the show so much, and things like the introduction of Abed are handled so well in that episode that it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy that I have to give it at least like a learning curve because it's the first episode. What episode of a great comedy show, what pilot episode of a great comedy show is ever great? Like the 30 Rock one is terrible almost. and I don't know, The Office had a really rocky, so many great comedy shows took their time. So I'm willing to forgive that. But I do agree with you on the other two for sure. Mm-hmm. Steven, what have you got?
All right, so I'm gonna come through with my bracket busters. My list. Okay, my 3 bottom going from 3 to 1 being the worst. Number 3, I've got Advanced Criminal Law.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
What?
I know.
I was not expecting that.
That's
not my favorite one.
Okay.
Number 2, I've got the season 1 finale, Pascal's Triangle Revisited.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Which for me, it's because I'm big on like how do you end it? How do you wrap it up? And I did not like the ending of that episode.
Give us a little bit for the other one too. Why do you say Advanced Criminal Law? I think that's a pretty popular early episode.
I think I just didn't like Britta in that episode, and because that's the one right where she cheated on the test, and then like she didn't tell them, and then they all were like. Yeah, and then she's like, "I'm leaving," or whatever. Yeah. There's a whole thing.
I feel like
not my cup of tea.
I remember the crimes being more Jeff than Britta, from what I remember.
Yeah, and I think I don't remember exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly like the specifics, but I remember I did not like Jeff or Britta in that one, and that's a double whammy for me. And then my least favorite episode is The Art of Discourse because I don't think it's funny.
That's like the non-hipster answer for least favorite first season episode.
Yeah.
So why is that one worse than all of them? Is it specifically because of the annoying teenagers?
I think it's that I didn't really love that plot, and I wasn't super into the other stuff going on, but it's mostly the teenagers because that's another one where I dislike both Jeff and Britta in the episode, and that's
I don't like that they stooped to the kids' level in it. I think it was a little bit too childish on their parts, but. I don't know. I can't say the episode's bad just because characters that were supposed to be annoying were annoying. You know what I mean? Like, they did exactly what they were trying to do. So I don't know if any of mine... Well, I guess a couple of mine agree. For my third, my least bad of the bad, I have the politics of human sexuality. And I think a lot of that for me is the Jeff plot. I think the date that he's on, it just falls really flat and really, like... almost like 2.5 Men, like the types of women that like Charlie Sheen would be betting on a show like that. And I don't know. I really like some of the stuff about the STD fair, and I really like Doreen in that episode. but I remember that one being one that was kind of light on the laughs, and that I didn't really care for the story. Second worst, I've got Pascal's Triangle Revisited, and I feel like you guys enjoyed that one quite a bit. There are a lot of things I enjoy about that one. I don't know, there's some really funny bits, but the Britta and Slater and Jeff of it all just rings so false to me that I can't watch it without something bumming me out pretty bad. And then for my worst episode of the season, I agree with Dom and Andre. I've got Basic Genealogy. It's one that I struggle to even think of anything I remembered liking about that one, any of the funny bits. I know there were some in there that we would have pointed out when we talked about it.
It's got Smashes Catherine McPhee. Come on
now.
And
of course it's got Britta being spanked by Troy's grandma.
So that's the standout. That's like why that episode seems to sit well with some people, is they remember that from it. Mm-hmm. But if you revisit it, it feels like they had a draft of the episode and hadn't quite figured out how to resolve all the threads or fit it all in.
Yeah.
And then they just like never finished it.
That's
like,
fair.
Yeah, no one's gonna care about the Shirley and Abed plot anyways.
Yeah. That one moment that ties it all together with Jeff and whatever Catherine McPhee's character's name was burst into the classroom is so funny, and it's such a perfect community, like everything coming in and leading up to that one moment. But yeah, the romance in that episode I couldn't even try to care about because it has one episode only written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With Pascal's, I think, I mean, the Britta and Slater thing is definitely, that's what we spent like the whole time with Jen of Community Rewatch Podcasts, like talking about with that episode, is it's just like so strange and out of the blue and like very like anti-feminist in many ways and just like inconsistent to their characters. Even so, like you can have bad characters doing bad things, but not when that's not their character. And but I think it's all right. It's fan servicey, I think is but it's, you know, it is definitely one of those episodes that when they probably wrote out their kind of sketch of what the season looked like, I bet that was in there. And you can tell when those episodes come up because they're very paint by numbers. But I think it's hard to say that that's worse. Yeah, I'm surprised you think that's worse than some of the other, like worse than English as a second language.
I like English as a second language.
I have English as a second language coming in about towards the top of the second third of episodes on my list, so kind of middle of the road. What was without just telling what we said on all of our episodes to each other, what was your problem with that one?
I don't have a huge problem with that one. I'm just saying, like,
you like
it's
Pascal's quite a bit better.
Very slightly better, I think.
Okay.
It's just because they're next to each other that I think that makes them easy to compare.
Mm-hmm.
I just think English as a second language is probably even more paint by numbers than that one. But it's I think a little more inventive than, like, you know, Basic Genealogy or Communication Studies, in my opinion, still. But
I put Basic Genealogy at the bottom. That wasn't on your list of bottom at all, was it, Steven?
No.
Basic Genealogy. You went with Advanced Criminal Law, which I have fairly high. I think it's in my top half of episodes of the season. I think that's one of the standout early episodes, but that's whatever. Yeah. It's fun to disagree. I don't think there are any episodes of the first season that are bad. Like, if I end up making a bottom 10 of the entire series, I don't know if any of those episodes would fall on it. We'll have to see. There are definitely some ones I can think of, like multiple, that I don't remember being crazy about.
Yeah. Andre, for you, what were your your bottom three? Pretty much in line with Dom, or?
Yeah, the only one I think I had Art of Discourse much lower than Dom did, and I think that was probably because we had some grade inflation going on in our ratings in the previous episodes. So I knocked it down a little bit for that. And then I went and I said it was starting at a 2.5. And then I had to bring it back up to a 3.4.
You're so right. Well, and what isn't it? American Poultry, Art of Discourse, Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
It's like two of the very best episodes of the season with one of the worst, like, sandwiched in the middle.
Yeah, with Scott's Tots right there in the middle. So.
I don't hate Scott's Tots. It's just massively uncomfortable. It's
unwatchable.
It's painful.
I understand that, but it's not because it's badly written. The comic
Mr.
idea
Scott,
of it is
what you
brilliant,
gonna
but
do?
it's so uncomfortable to watch.
No, I mean, without getting too far, not to make this an
That's
office
okay.
podcast.
We can talk about whatever.
But I think that the fact that Scott's Tots is like unwatchable for me actually makes it the best episode of The Office. Because overall, I don't like The Office that much.
The change in Andre's face when you said that, I could tell that it hurted him.
It's so bad that it's good. Like, is that type of thing for you there, Tom?
I'm a big fan of like Nathan For You and some I like cringy humor when the person who's making you cringe is in on the joke. If it's cringy because someone is not aware of what they're doing, it's awful. But I can't help but laugh at it.
Take it back to the art of discourse. I think that is intentional cringe. What I don't think is intentional cringe is Britta. Well, I guess that's intentional cringe.
No, what were you going to say?
Going up for the crown is intentional cringe.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, a lot of what we talked about last week, I think a lot of what they do works because the conversation that Duncan and Britta have and then the conversations that Shirley and Britta have set up, you can understand why Britta's like buying into the beauty pageant thing. It's just that she says, I love you to Jeff after like she's been pretty one toe in when it comes to talking about something between them, even if she's feeling more than she's saying. We talked about, I don't think Britta's the type of person to say I love you to someone like 5 months into a relationship. She seems like someone that would really struggle to get to that point with somebody. And for her to just throw it around willy-nilly as a statement, it didn't feel true to the character that they had built at all.
Yeah.
I almost spilled my water. Next, I want to talk about, before we get to our favorite episodes for each of us, we just finished and got the results of the Twitter bracket tournament we've been doing for a while to see what people think the best episode is. It came down to, I thought it was kind of an interesting top two. It was Modern Warfare, which is kind of a given, and Physical Education, which I thought was kind of an interesting
I was surprised
second one.
Physical Education, like I was happy that it did, but I was surprised that it ended up in the top.
Some of it comes down to, when you do a bracket style thing, that sometimes really good ones get kicked out just because of what they're up against in other rounds. But I think it's to no surprise that everyone ended up going with Modern Warfare. I think it was like a 76% lead over Physical Education. I'll open it up with my favorite episodes. I feel pretty confident in my top 5. In 5th place, I've got Physical Education, which I think is so funny. All of the class-based episodes of season 1 are really great because they're not quite as silly as they get in the later seasons, but they still take relatable concepts like pottery and dance and in this one PE, and they really flip it. And I really love that episode. The Coach Bogner is a great guest appearance. I love everything about that episode. Number 4, I've got Beginner Pottery, which all the things I like about Physical Education are the things that I like about Beginner Pottery too. That one just has a slight edge above it. I think probably because of the sailing class. The A story, B story ratio in that episode is really strong. In number 3, I've got Modern Warfare. I think it's a little bit overrated, but you can't deny that it's the episode that put the show on the map. And I'm sure for a lot of us, when we were watching Community for the first time, it was the episode that was like, whoa, what is this show doing? So you can't deny it, but there are 2 that I like more than it. My second favorite being Comparative Religion, just has a huge spot in my heart. I see the face Dom is making. I think I love that. For a sitcom on television, there's thoughtful conversation about difference in religion, something that you never see in shows like this, and they find a way to do it that's thoughtful and funny and still has the same like Christmas special episode vibes that you want. There are a lot of things I like about that episode. And my number 1, I go with Contemporary American Poultry. I think it's so great. I think a lot of the reasons why people like Modern Warfare the most, I get a lot of that out of Contemporary American Poultry as a different type of movie fan. I wasn't so much an action movie kid. I liked a lot of the dramas and kind of fringe films, and that movie picks at a lot of that in a way that episode picks a lot at that in a way that I like. And it's such a great Abed episode. I think it's one of the best Abed episodes of the first season. Yeah, and that's what I got. Somebody else talk now.
All right, Andre, what are your top 5?
Okay, so number 5 is Debate 109.
Okay.
Good choice.
I love that episode. I loved the debate. We got the first little bit of Jeff and Annie, which I'm still not sure how I feel about that.
Us either.
Just in general. But I really liked Abed's storyline in Debate 109. Just I loved all of it. It got a pretty high rating for me early in the season.
Yeah.
Number 4, environmental science.
I really like that episode a lot. That's my number 6. It just got edged out.
I gave this one 0.01 higher than my highest episode is how I rated it.
Nice.
Wow.
But I think it's just like the first time we saw all of the characters we saw where they were going with all the characters. So I really enjoyed that one. Number 3, the science of illusion. And honestly, I don't remember what the science of illusion is. Can someone fill me in here?
That's one that I disagree with you guys on. That's kind of a middle of the road one. That's the prank episode where the cadaver falls out a window.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
I don't
this
have
is
it
the buddy
super
cop
low,
episode, right?
Yeah.
The buddy cop
Okay.
stuff really carries
Abed
it.
being the director.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it
not
was
crazy
Abed.
about the Britta prank subplot in that episode, so that took that down quite a bit for me. But the buddy cop stuff is really good.
And then after that, we got number 2 is contemporary American poultry.
Nice.
Loved everything about that episode. Just the chicken fingers as currency is hilarious to me. And really seeing how Abed interacts with other people.
Yeah.
And how he interacts through the chicken fingers. I love pretty much any episode that has Abed character development like that. And number 1, Modern Warfare.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
an outstanding episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dom,
so
yeah.
I guess
Go for
me
it.
then.
Go for
So
it.
I'm Andre. Did you read those straight off of what your ratings were?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, because I might fudge how I strictly rated them, and I'll explain kind of as I look through these, but because the one standout I'm seeing that I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna arbitrarily pluck out of this is I gave romantic expressionism an unusually high score.
That's a good, solid episode.
But I very much regret giving it a 4.7.
Sure.
Yeah.
Might be a little high.
It's a solid 4 or up a little bit, I would say.
Yeah, so Andre gave it 4.4.
Okay.
Which I think is like more how I'd
Yeah.
like to...
Well,
if
I gave it a
but-
4.1.
Oh, you did?
4.4 is the average.
Oh,
Yeah, you brought the average up there with your crazy 4.7.
Okay, so arbitrarily, I'm gonna pluck that one out. But for the most part, I think this is otherwise straight from like how we rated them, with maybe one other exception that again I'll explain. So also, I'll go debate 109. I'll go environmental science. That's a great sequence of the 2 episodes. Debate 109 is I think just like the biggest like early standout for me. Actually, I'm also taking intro to film out of this. Just because, again, like, I just like Debate 109. I like environmental science because it just brings everyone together for the first time, and it feels like the first, like, kind of aha moment for, like, where Jeff's growth is, like, starting to come to fruition.
Definitely.
Which is what makes the next few episodes feel kind of weird, because they have to, like, okay, what do we do with Jeff now? Now that, like, he's becoming a better person.
Yeah.
After that, I would go physical education as number
What number
3.
is that? Number 3.
Number 3, yeah. Just because I think it starts like a new kind of long arc for Jeff, just in how his insecurity manifests, and like how he can have these tantrums, and this is still like a part of him that he needs to address. Like as he becomes more comfortable with the group, he has to address that. There's also, we see this whole new side of like Abed. I can't actually remember what else happens in that episode, but I feel like I like the other things that happen there too.
Yeah.
I think it's very efficient with like how everything is managed. That was like the big standout for me, is it was like juggling like the kind of everyone else with like, I think it's just the Abed thing mostly, and then also this like big thing with Jeff. And then so I'm going to say then the same final two, which is Science of Illusion as number 2, and I'm probably going to say Contemporary American Poultry as number 1, even though we rated Modern Warfare the highest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's fair to say that that is the best episode, because it is only the best and highest like rated episode because it's so earned from the rest of the season. So to me, that's just like the feeling of satisfaction you get from like going through this whole season.
The icing on the cake. I think I agree with you. Modern Warfare is really great, but I think there's a difference between what's the best on paper and what's your favorite and which one makes you the happiest. And when I look at this, it's definitely what I think of.
All right. Speaking of what makes you the happiest, here's my top 5 here. All right. So number 5, I'm not going to get too crazy. Number 5, Contemporary American Poultry. Really like the episode. Mm-hmm. Love all the references. It's just a great episode. I like it a lot. I don't really have a lot of qualms with it. Number 4, same as you, Zach. I went beginner pottery. I do like it a little bit more than physical education, but I like physical education like just a sliver under that. Number 3 for me was also Modern Warfare. I think it's just really cool and well done episode with all the cool shots and all the fighting, and then like Chang at the end was just chef's kiss awesome. Number 2, I think this is going to be the most controversial one on my list here. Football, Feminism, and You, which I know some people don't really love that episode, but as a guy who loves Troy as much as I love Troy, that's like the first episode where we really get to kind of see him for more than just like a couple of one-liners, you know, and I like that a lot. And I think the human being is utterly terrifying, and that's the birth of that. And then my favorite episode of season 1 is Interpretive Dance. I think it's hilarious. Whoa. I love that episode. I love so much about it. Like, I think I don't think I had more fun watching an episode than probably that one of the whole first season. And maybe it's because I bust a move that I really like it, but it's a great episode.
Well, that's also another pretty Troy heavy episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's Troy Britta
heavy,
episode, which
is a good Britta episode. Steven's in love with Gillian Jacobs, as I'm sure we all are. So I think that does it. Interpretive Dance was 4th in our bracket. It made it to the finals. It was like Interpretive Dance, Physical Education, Contemporary American Poultry, and Modern Warfare. Which I
made like 25 Twitter accounts to keep voting for Interpretive Dance.
A pretty solid sampling of Community at its most extreme and Community more as a school show. You know, I think it works pretty well. So we're gonna the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna play a game that we put together. I don't know. I'm gonna fan the flames of the rivalry just a little bit.
How icebreakery is this gonna be?
What do you mean by that?
You better know what color underwear that Andre has on right now.
Everyone has to go around and say 3 unique things about themselves and what makes them special. No, what I've put together is a little bit of a which podcast duo knows each other better kind of thing, and it's mostly community related, but we're gonna kind of go with a newlywed game type situation where we're gonna see if we're on the same page with our co-hosts.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
I feel like we're gonna lose. But...
Yeah.
You'd think.
I don't know.
I do know a lot of his milk preferences.
Well, almost all the questions are milk related, so.
What milks? Just not cow milk.
Oh,
okay. Do you have a favorite alternative milk? I kind of like coconut milk.
Oh, coconut milk. I think. Are you an almond milk drinker? Because you don't like the oats.
No, I like the oat.
Oat
but
milk goes hard.
Mostly almond. Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone, please give a warm Texas Roadhouse welcome to the love of my life and Stephen Baker's former lover, Lily Shaker.
Hi, Lily.
Welcome to the show. It's her first time, everyone. Hi. She's going to explain the rules of the game we're about to play, so go ahead.
rounds of 6 questions. In each round, one co-host will answer a question.
For the first 6, I'm going to write my answer, and Steven's going to guess what he thinks my answer will be. Dom, you'll answer for yourself, and Andre, you'll guess what you think Dom is going to say. And then after 6, we'll switch.
Do we both have to write it down?
Yes, so we can see if you're on the same page or not.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
you lift them
for
at the same time.
For the people listening and not watching, say your answer after we've seen it. And
we'll hold it up and then we'll say it out loud so people can also hear it. We'll get a point every time that we match up, and whoever gets the most points at the game is the superior podcast duo. That's just the rules. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Now, now that you've agreed to the game, we can tell you the special lose conditions. You will be banished to the Shadow Realm for all eternity.
Okay.
Oh no.
That sounds kind of nice.
Now, what do you guys think is worse, the Shadow Realm or death? Because apparently in the Japanese version, they just died.
Oh shit!
Which sounds better than going to the Shadow Realm.
Going to the Shadow Realm, right? Because then you're just stuck there forever.
I think the Shadow Realm is actually much darker.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this first 6 questions, Zach and Dom are answering the question, and Steven and Andre are guessing. Question 1. What is your co-host's middle name? You're going to get a couple seconds, so I'll make sure everybody's got it. Good and ready? I'll count to 3, and after I count to 3, show your answer to the screen.
Wait.
Yes.
I need to think.
Everybody good?
That's okay. Yeah, take a second.
Wait, am I guessing? Am I guessing Dom's or is Dom guessing mine?
I thought I was guessing. I'm guessing Andre's, right?
The question is, what is your co-host's middle name? I'll edit this out to make it seem like we got it the first time. The question is, what is your co-host's middle name? So, Dom, you're answering what Andre's middle name is. I'm answering what I think Steven's is. And Andre, you can either write what your middle name actually is or what you think Dom might think it is if he doesn't know what it is. So you can try to match up.
Ooh, okay.
Isn't it and? Or no? in the.
What? Steven and Baker. I feel like Dom is looking it up on Facebook right now.
I'm not.
Oh, impossible.
I'll concede.
You're not a middle name guy to put it on your Facebook?
Is my middle name on my Facebook? I don't know.
I have no idea.
If we were friends on Facebook, maybe we'd know.
I know thing? I've seen the initial on an email before.
Ooh.
Oh. Does everyone have a guess?
I do have a guess as to what my middle name may be.
1, 2, 3. Show your answers.
Oh, my screen is mirrored.
It looks fine to me.
Everybody read it out loud.
Okay, so I put that Steven's middle name is Alan.
My middle name is Alan, and I guess that is... I knew he'd get it right. I believed in him.
Okay.
Dom and Andre, how'd it go for you guys?
I put that his middle name was Edward.
And it is actually James.
Oh,
not quite.
One to gloat, so we'll just move on to the next question. We'll see where this goes.
Now we're not going to get to answer that question in reverse, are we?
Because
we won't answer the question in reverse. When we switch, it'll be different questions.
Mm-hmm. Darn.
Why? Does he know your middle name? For sure.
It is Dom.
Oh, so you're one of those go by the middle name people.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I respect that.
I respect it.
Steven, do you know my middle name?
Yeah, Martavius.
That's not my middle name.
That's not my name.
Do you not actually know what it is?
Is it Christopher?
No, but that's kind of nice. My middle name is Jonathan.
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 It's spelled wrong, too, because my parents are dumb. All right, let's move on.
Question number 2. If your podcast were about any other show, which would your co-host choose?
So Zach is saying what I would choose for it to be about?
Yeah. If it was about a different show, what would your co-host choose?
Oh, no.
Wait, sorry. I'm guessing for Andre what he would choose? Okay.
Yes. I'm not confident in this one, but I did my best.
I'll be shocked if I haven't
Everybody
gotten
ready?
this.
I think Steven could maybe more confidently answer it about me. I'm not sure about him. Are we all ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to hold mine up. For those that cannot see the screen, I have written Bob, Psycho, whatever. And Steven wrote, I don't know, probably some hentai. I feel like that's close. No. Is that close? Is that like a third point? Nah, of course. So what did you guys get?
I guessed really the Chevy Chase show, which seemed like the obvious guess.
Sure.
And I put the real answer of The West Wing.
Nice. I never watched The West Wing, but I've heard time and time again how incredible.
So this is
news
Hill. To me, and you know I have a no Sorkin policy.
Do you have a poster in your classroom with Aaron Sorkin's face with like
that's what I should. That should be
red
like,
stripe through
fill
it?
That wall.
Definitely.
I should have put Young Sheldon.
That'd be good.
That would have been Young Sheldon. That would have been.
There were so many obvious answers, but West Wing was not an established joke already.
I know your guys' fascination with Baby Nut from the Planters universe. Is Baby Nut like the commercial version of Young Sheldon? Is it like same?
Oh yeah, kind of. But he's Peanut Jr. now.
Yeah. Can I tell you guys a fun fact?
Yeah. Angsty teenager?
Okay. I know somebody, a student at the studio, actually used to work for Planners, and she was part of that advertising team for Baby Nut.
Oh,
so
can you put me in contact?
I would love to.
For a podcast?
Right?
Is this the person responsible?
Right? I know she at least had to do with the Super Bowl ad and the peanut shoes that they made. I want a pair.
They were shoes.
They actually look pretty freaking kick-ass. They made Planters tennis shoes.
I'm sorry, I'm derailing this so much. Let's continue.
That's fine. We're learning a lot. That's fine.
You can't disapplant a nutcast.
Question number 3. Which community character would your co-host like to be stranded on a deserted island with?
Wait.
I think I answer who I think Steven would like to be stuck on an island with. Most of these questions are going to be about the other person. I feel pretty confident in my answer.
Oh no, because I don't know which one you went with, but I hope.
Well, I'm not going to try to give it away. Write your heart out.
I did.
Is everyone prepared?
Wait, I need a moment.
Okay.
There's a couple.
I'll find some good game show music that won't get us sued.
Oh yeah.
Even though I quite often play
if you play it on 1.5 times speed.
Ooh.
Literally, our last podcast ends with a complete live track from Sting that I didn't change at all because we joked around all episode that for our season finale he was going to perform at the end of it. And I've used a lot of stuff. I've never had any problem, but maybe if more people listen to our podcast, I would.
Okay, I think I have it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, show them.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Nice.
Oh my god.
Look at
so we put point.
So,
okay, so for me and Steven, what did we put, Steve?
We put the lovely Britta.
Which you would love to be stuck with, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd go the way you want.
You don't know how I want it to go.
What about you guys?
We also both had the same answer, and it was Chang.
Okay.
Nice.
A bold move, Cotton.
Let's keep this train rolling.
Number 4. What Greendale class would your co-host be most likely to enroll in? I know what mine would be. Ice cream 101.
History of ice cream?
Ready, Freddy?
I'm prepared. Everyone prepared? Okay.
I'm prepared.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Wait.
Interpretive dance, or I went with ones that were real, Steven.
Yeah, I should have.
Interpretive dance, or can I fry that? Steven, what did you put?
I said intro to anime. I thought you'd guess that one.
What about you guys? Did you end up on the same page?
Andre, how would I have guessed trains?
I don't know.
Young Sheldon. Sheldon loves trains. Come on, the writing was all over the wall. Come on.
Why would I have put logistics?
Because that's your actual major. So I would think you'd be most likely to, or at least if you had gone to college at Greendale, you would be most likely to be enrolled in that.
Trains.
Trains.
Looks like the cracks in the duo are starting the show, huh?
That was a good guess.
We're getting some steamy exclusives. Okay, what's next?
Number 5. Who of your podcast duo is most like Troy and who is most like Abed? If you're gonna compare.
Should I put like an equal sign or?
I put a colon because I'm fancy. Ooh, use an Oxford comma. There we go.
Okay.
Ready, Freddy?
Everyone ready?
Let's go, Joe.
1, 2, 3.
Dom and Andre, you go first. What do we got?
We got the same thing, I think.
Dom
we just
is-
wrote it in the exact opposite format.
Dom is Abed, Andre is Troy. I have put that I am white Abed and that Steven is black Troy.
And I came to the same conclusion.
So
Nice.
a point for the both of us. Is there one more before we switch?
Mm-hmm. Uno más.
Okay.
En español, por favor.
You guys just need one to get one up on us.
Where Zach and Steven are at 3 and Dom and Andre are at 2.
Still anyone's game.
Number 6. What's your favorite thing your co-hosts bring to the table on the podcast?
Aww.
What's your favorite thing your co-host brings to the table on your podcast?
Am I guessing what Andre thinks that
You're writing about Andre. No, what do you think Andre brings to the table? And Andre, what do you think Dom will say is the best thing that you bring to the table?
Oh, okay.
This luscious ass.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
For the first time ever, I'll say something nice about Steven.
Oh, gross.
Here we
1,
go.
2, 3, go.
Aww.
Steven, are you doing this?
Yeah!
He's doing the fingers. I have put laughter and positive attitude and luscious ass.
Aw.
But Steven put the laugh. That was my main focus. I'll give us that if no one has a problem with that.
Yeah.
Dom and Andre, what did Andre put silence?
So I tried to say something nice, but
What did you put?
yeah, I said worldly/pop culture knowledge.
I put
And
silence.
he thought I would be more mean. I guess.
We're the Penn and Teller of podcasts. I don't.
How does that work for a podcast? I guess
Very
everyone listen
carefully.
to Dom and Andre in the morning every week.
And
to
you'll find out.
Okay, so now I think we're going to switch. So now I will, Steven will be answering. I will be guessing his responses and vice versa. Andre, you'll be answering and Dom will be guessing his responses. So we're switching roles. Let's see if we can figure it out.
A
Alrighty.
flip flop, switch swap.
7. If your co-host could swap you out with one of the hosts of the other podcast, which would it be?
I think I'm confident on this one. Perhaps. Everyone got something?
Ready, Freddy?
I'm just taking a random guess.
That's fine.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Oh. So there's some interesting synergy here.
Okay, so I said that, if my co-host could swap me out, he'd switch me for Dom because glasses, #nerd. And Zach said...
Either would be better is what I thought Steven would say. We don't get along great.
No.
So did you both think of it as you had to trade for one of us?
Yeah.
That is what I took it as. But,
see,
but
I went for a completely different podcast.
that's okay. What did you go with?
Because I said Kevin.
Yeah, TV's Kevin Lanigan, friend of the
Kevin
show.
Lanigan.
Yeah, we're fans of his. That's a good choice.
But I guess
I did not
Andre
say
thought
Kevin.
that it had to be also one of you two.
Yeah.
It looks like, well, Steven wants Dom, Andre wants me, but Dom's not so committal, so we'll see where this goes. We'll see what happens. What's next?
Question number 8. Who is your co-host's biggest community crush?
Who is your co-host's biggest community crush? So who is mine, and who do I think Steven thinks mine is?
Actor name or
Whichever. If one of you says the actor and the other says the character,
Okay.
we'll still count it. I've gone with one of the truest thick queens on Greendale's campus, if everyone's prepared.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to lift mine up.
Easy.
Okay, so a point for Dom and Andre. They've both put Annie. I went with Leonard. I think we'd have a good time together. Steven thinks I'm more a Dean Pelton guy, which...
He's more a Dean
Yeah.
Pelton guy.
I said Dean Pelton, bark, bark, woof, woof.
I would like to change my deserted island answer to Leonard instead of Chang.
See, no, I was in
won't have to put
between.
up with them that
I was in
long?
between Leonard and Chang. But I thought you would probably choose Chang instead because Leonard might die.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
food.
No.
All right. Does that tie it up? No.
No.
It's still one between us.
Yeah. Question number 9. If you could change one thing about what your co-host brings to the podcast table, what would it be?
So if Steven could change something about me, okay. Okay.
Hold on, I'm writing.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Oh no.
Oh no, never mind.
No, I got it.
Okay.
Oh,
Complete
Dom, I vibe with
opposites.
that. Okay, so neither of us were on the same page. I thought Steven would say I talk too much, but he just wishes we were actual real life friends. Oh, we'll see.
Wait, no, Andre, weren't you supposed to be saying what you would change about me? Isn't that I don't know.
That's okay.
Oh well.
None of us got it. It's fine.
I thought
What did you guys
I
put?
was guessing what you would change about me.
Dom says shorter episodes. Andre says
Because I
talk
thought
more.
Andre would want to make the episode shorter, but he thought that I would want him to talk more. So there's some sort of special miscommunication here.
It's like we're almost getting it, but
Almost,
Yeah,
but not
close.
quite.
Ready for question number 10?
Yeah.
The big 1-0.
If a movie were... Okay. If a movie were to be made about your podcast duo, who would play your co-host?
Oh, wasn't this just a question on Twitter?
I didn't see that, but synergy.
Someone posted it about, or maybe it was just like, I tried to tweet about this the other day, and I literally couldn't think of an answer, so...
So, Andre, you'll put who would play Dom. Dom, you'll put who you think Andre would say plays you. And same with Steven. Steven will put who would play me.
Oh, wait,
And
okay.
I have no
Steven, I hope you and I are thinking
There's
the same
one
person.
right answer for this.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
well, this makes it more difficult.
Okay.
That kind of
Obviously,
helped me a little,
Catherine
so thank
McPhee.
you.
No, wait. Alright.
Tom, it doesn't matter. We're not getting this.
It's TV's
Okay.
Kevin Lanigan.
You guys both can get a...
It can still happen.
Okay.
I got my best guess.
I do feel like we have to defend our home turf since we're on our show, but I'd be willing to give the win to you guys if you can snake it out. Let's see what we got. I'm lifting mine up.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
People always say I look like Rick Moranis. Steve and I have both decided on that. What did you guys have? Andre said Chris Pratt. That's a
I said Michael
compliment, I
Cera.
suppose.
Michael Cera was the correct answer. Yeah, that.
Chris Pratt in his own way is kind of like a jacked Michael Cera, who's in his like late 30s or 40s.
If I had remembered that Michael
guess.
Cera existed.
No, I'm pretty sure Michael Cera evolves into Jesse Eisenberg, which then
Okay.
evolves into Andy Samberg.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Oh.
That's the tree.
Okay, that's fair. Okay.
Confirmed.
Question number 11. Which host of your podcast is most likely to sell out and turn the show into a corporate shill?
I'm ready.
1 second. My handwriting is bad, but I'm ready. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
What?
We've all got it wrong. We've all guessed the other one. I put me in parentheses sponsored by Loot Crate.
I
Steven
put me, hashtag Candy Crush.
And then
We're big fans
me
of
and
the
Andre
Mario
both
Lopez
put each
Candy
other.
Crush.
I I think we're probably equally likely to sell
Well, I
out.
think any of us would jump on any opportunity given. So any potential sponsors for either of our shows listening, bring it on. Squarespace, come on.
I want to take a second to thank our sponsor, KY Jelly. Zach and I never do a podcast without first slapping on some KY Jelly. KY Jelly for all your podcast and personal needs. KY Jelly. Thanks, guys.
Not a sponsor, just hopeful. Okay, one more?
Yeah, one more question.
Why don't we make it double credit? Because it could, if you guys get it right, it would tie us. If we get
and
it
then
wrong.
we're both the best, and we have a sudden death to see who gets sent to the Shadow Realm. All right.
What's the last one?
Question number 12. Which host of your podcast is most likely to quit or be removed from the podcast? Like dragged out.
I swear, if we this up, then Andre's off the podcast. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you censor your podcast. I'm sorry that you have to edit that now.
Hey, we only edit the word. It's fine. You can say whatever you want. Steven's mom listens.
Hi, Mary.
And my grandparents. Hi, Grandma. Okay, we ready?
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. We've all got it right. Unfortunately, that doesn't squeeze the win from you guys. But boy, was that fun. We learned a lot about each other. Feel like we
And
all
that
have some
was
stuff
the
to talk about
Newlywed
afterwards.
Game Podcasters Edition, brought to you by KY Jelly.
Okay, so thank you very much, Lily, for doing that. Everyone send my girlfriend some love. Okay, Steven.
Thanks, Lily.
Steven has sent her plenty of love in the past, so you don't have to send any more. So let's turn it back to season 1. A couple of things to talk about before we wrap this thing up. First is Steven and I like to, at the end of every episode, give an MVP award to the character that we think is best represented in each episode. And today I went through all of our podcasts and kind of went down memory lane and tallied up all of the votes that we gave all season to see who we gave the most to. And I also want us to give an emotionally based answer to see if they go along with what the data was. So according to the data that Steven and I had throughout the season, we both gave Abed the most MVPs out of anyone. When we put all of our tallying together, it's a strong lead of Abed, with Annie, Troy, and Pierce the next highest tied. So it's a pretty strong Abed lead, but I don't know that I would go with Abed for my emotionally based MVP, just because, sure, they do so much great stuff with Abed, and Abed might be Community's best creative invention, but I don't think he's best served in this season. I think that's still coming up. I think he's a little underserved in this season. So I'm going to give my emotionally based MVP for the entire season to Annie. I think Annie does so well throughout the season, and the change in character is really subtle, but comes through very strongly. And I feel like Alison Brie's performance just gets better and better as the season goes on. As much as I have my issues with Pascal's Triangle Revisited, I think she's great in that episode. And any other time she gets the spotlight, I think she does a great job. So that's it for me.
Yeah.
Steven, what about you?
So I pretty handedly voted most MVPs to Abed when we tallied up our scores, but I also am going to change that with my emotionally based one and give it to my boy Troy. Because even though I think Annie, especially from an acting standpoint, does a fantastic job of like showing growth and a lot throughout this whole season, I laugh every time Troy's on the screen. Like, it just, pretty much every line he has, I'm laughing. So I think that, he just, for me, shines bright in the whole picture.
What about you guys? What say the both of you?
This is interesting. I mean, this is, you guys have your own like end of episode focus that you think about. I guess we like think about this in a way, but we don't have like cold hard numbers to back it up. We're always just kind of keeping track of where everyone's at in our head. But
And I like ending our show with something that's emotionally based. I like us being kind of like a water cooler chat. We'll get together after the episode and talk about it. And I love how you guys put your data into it to find out the numbers of what makes the best episode.
Yeah.
But still, what do you guys think?
Andre, do you have one right off the top? Because I'm tempted to just say. I mean, unfortunately, I always hate giving an answer that ends in Jeff, but the answer may just unfortunately be Jeff. I would love to say it's Annie, but I just don't think it is. I'd always love to give credit to Annie, but I think when Annie gets a chance to shine, especially with Jeff. And see that chemistry and see how Annie pushes him to improve. I think that's fantastic. But really, at the end of the day, it's Jeff Winger's show, and really, this is kind of Jeff Winger's season overall.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no episode no season that's more just about Jeff, I think. And they haven't really even considered what they're only just starting to toy with the idea of what even is the group when Jeff's not around.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So I'd say just the amount of growth he's gone through, and in terms of writing, the amount of consistency you see from Jeff, and these big emotional moments that come through more and more as the season progresses. I think it's Jeff.
I think the reason I can't give it to him, even though sure it's his season and he's so much the focus, it's that I spent at least half the season not liking him. And sure, maybe he's got a strong second half, but I'm thinking of consistency, who always put a smile on my face. I get Troy as a answer from Steven, and I see why Abed could be that too. And I think I've always underrated Annie when I was younger watching this show, that watching it this time, she's surprising me a lot more, so that has a lot to do with it. Andre, what do you got?
Okay. I'm deciding between Abed and Annie. I think I'm gonna go with Abed.
I respect that.
I think throughout the whole season he's kind of been kind of the same, not a super not always at the front of the episode, but he's sort of the puppet master, I guess, of some episodes.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy what he brings to the rest of the characters. What he brings out in the rest of the characters.
I think I just didn't give it to Abed because I know I'm probably going to give a lot of them to Abed, so I wanted to have a little bit of variety.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a great season. It's been so fun to delve back into the show in a different way, and I think your guys' situation is a little bit different to mine and Steven's, where if it wasn't for doing the show, I don't know, it's kind of how we talk and how we hang out. We live in different states. We weren't talking as much as we should have, and now we have a thing to do together and to hang out every week and to joke around, and it's a lot of fun. And the fact that people listen to it and interact with it just puts another layer on it that makes it even more fun. So it's been really great, and I hope it's been great for you guys, and I hope for continued success for you guys, and I'm glad to hang out with you guys. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
it's nice to see that we can all be in the same room and the universe doesn't implode.
I know. I was really worried that there was going to be some sort of time
singularity, or
something was going to get messed up.
I was thinking to myself earlier, since this is clearly the crossover event of the generation.
Yeah, move over Jimmy Timmy Power Hour.
I was about to ask, are we more Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, or are we more That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana? That should have been in the game show questions. I don't know.
I think Jimmy Timmy Power Hour is, I think, really more of a heavy hitter, more earth shattering, earth bending. Sweet Life of Hannah Montana is more of just they walk in and everyone's like, woo!
Yeah,
and there's
totally.
no substance,
Yeah, that's true.
And most crossovers end up being quite disappointing, so I hope that this was not that. For people who are listening, we're glad that you're listening. One of the last things we have to do while we're all here is choose a winner for this giveaway thing we've been doing. I've got all the names compiled. I've got the list
Zach,
shuffled.
before that, do we still want to read any of the Twitter stuff?
Oh, yeah, Steven. I totally forgot about that.
You did. It's okay.
Go ahead. Just say it. Just do it, and I'll edit it in. Just do it.
Okay. Speaking of interactions, we asked you guys to tell us on Twitter who your MVP of the season was. So I'm going to read some of those replies from you guys, and then kind of give you the results of what our polls were for your MVP, like who you guys voted for the most. So Matt, hey there, Matt, said that Annie was his MVP because of her additions to his favorite episodes of the season: Football, Feminism, and You, Introduction to Statistics, Debate 109, Basic Genealogy, and Pascal's Triangle Revisited. All great episodes for Annie.
Interesting list of favorite episodes.
Yeah,
though,
right?
For sure. Basic Genealogy, get out of here.
Our community papa said the gif of Annie saying chugga chugga woo woo and Troy responding, ignore her, we are serious. So another Annie fan there. Sir David of Crockett said Troy and Abed as a unit, and Chang, Mamie Pierce. I think all of them definitely have some shining. I think Troy and Abed start to shine a little more in the coming days, but I'll give it to you.
I feel like Chang's only in like 5 episodes.
That's fair.
I feel like he's only really in a handful of episodes this season.
Well, and he hasn't had his best line yet, but we'll get to that in a later date. Weatherick with the People's Champ, Vaughn. Good answer.
I think that's a good answer. I'll give that a good answer.
Taste.
I'm glad that Vaughn's gone after season 1, but I could have done with more Vaughn in the interim.
Yeah, there are a couple of season 1 characters that are so specific to season 1, like Vaughn and Slater, that it would have been kind of fun to revisit in the future. But I think they're better left where they were.
Yeah, I miss Vaughn. He's hacky sacking. Like schmear now, so he's
Yang Wing. I don't know how to say it.
Yang Wang like a ding dong, something like that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Advanced Community Studies said long, tall Jeff Winger. That's an answer. A thankful guy named Joe said hard not to say Jeff, but it's hard to ignore Annie, Abed, and Troy. A true triple threat there with those 3. Brienne said Abed, almost always Abed. Fair enough. Shorzy said Troy. They played around with his character so much in the first season because he was the funniest. Was, is, and always will be. Good answer, Shorzy. And then the Community Rewatch podcast said Season 1 Britta is their favorite and she deserves MVP for the Science of Illusion and Modern Warfare. I like that answer. I think Britta has some great stuff. She's near and dear to my heart. So overall, through all the replies you guys gave us, the overall winners was a tie between Annie and Troy. So y'all some people after our own hearts a little bit. I like that the 4 of us all seem to have different MVPs. That just shows how great Community is if there are 4 characters deserving, and pretty much everybody got a nod there, other than Shirley, of course, because she doesn't really get a whole lot to do in Season 1. But we still love you, Shirley. And then Jeff and Abed got the second most mentions there. So yeah, thanks guys for writing in and participating. And now I think Zach has some exciting news.
That's really on the spot. Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to give away some stuff. We've been hyping this up for a little bit. I'm excited to send a box of stuff to a lucky person, and I'm going to have you guys kind of help me decide. Steven, just give me a number between 1 and 10 really quick.
7.
Okay, that's how many times I am quickly shuffling the list. Dom and Andre, if you could also each both give me a number between 1 and 10, that will decide what person on the list I pick.
3.
Okay.
6.
Okay, so we're going 9. Okay, we're going to have to do that again because that would make the winner at Community is on Twitter, everybody. Everyone,
congratulations!
Okay, so I'm going to stick with the 9, but I'm going to shuffle 2 more times for fun. Sorry, Dad, but come on, we use your credit card to buy the stuff, so we're not going to mail it.
It's really working in a story circle.
Okay. Ooh. So we've got a winner now. I shuffled it twice more, and the 9th down the list is Brienne at the Schmoopy on Twitter.
Hey,
so
at
congratulations.
Schmoopy!
She's someone that's been interacting with us a lot, so I'm happy to send you some stuff. Thanks for everyone that entered, and yeah.
Reminder, what she's won, Zach.
choose 1, the complete series of Community on DVD, a Troy and Abed in the Morning mug and t-shirt, and a couple of really cute Community stickers at a flat rate of $89.95 plus shipping and handling. It's yours.
Can be yours.
So to wrap this up, I'm really glad to hang out with you guys. This has been such a fun change of pace from what we usually do on the show to just chill out and kind of take a victory lap and reflect on what we've done. Dom, Andre, what can people look forward to in the second season of your show? Why should people that haven't checked you out already hop on board?
I can almost certainly promise that it's about to get somehow even weirder. A lot of character growth has already happened. Season 2 is pretty weird, so we're hoping we can make the podcast just as weird. I'm really hoping for My Dinner with Andre there will be an incredibly special episode.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one, so we're really already planning for that. There's a new theme song. There should be some really, really good guest interviews. Now that we've I think we've done a good portion of the Community podcast circuit, so trying to go beyond and then hopefully have some of those podcasts back on for some of their favorite episodes. So yeah, if you like good old story circle based analysis, you got to stop on by.
Season 2 of Community is so stacked that if ever there was a time to listen to 2 takes every week on a season of Community, it's going to be a good one. There's going to be a lot of good stuff. Where can people find you guys if they don't already know how?
Oh, God, everywhere. I mean, just
everywhere.
It's hard. I mean, I've got cookie crumbs all over my browser, No, wherever you find podcasts or at anchor.fm/Dom and Andre if you somehow can't find it anywhere else.
Great. Well, I'm very glad to have had you here. Anybody have any final words? Steven, what have you got to say before we move on to the next phase of our existence?
Yeah, thanks, Dom and Andre, for coming on. It's been a pleasure doing this with you guys. We got to, do it again in about however many weeks it takes
22 weeks or so.
So long.
Right? But it's been great. Thanks, guys, for listening and watching and interacting and just having fun with us when we've gone through one of our favorite shows. So it's been an honor and a privilege. If I could do it with anyone other than Zach, I would be even happier. But, as they say, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Wow, okay. Not what I was expecting you to go with that. But yes, thanks to everyone who's come on the show, who supported the show. And we look forward to what we'll be doing in the future, starting next week with the season premiere of Season 2. Super excited.
So make sure you write in your questions, comments, concerns about the Season 1 premiere.
Season 2. We're gonna move on to the next season.
For the Season 2 premiere. And let us know. Trivia questions. Who was your favorite in the episode? What was your funniest moment? Let us know.
Yeah, you can email in all that stuff to can'tdisappointpodcast@gmail.com. And to wrap things up here from inside the Dreamatorium, Black Lives Matter. I'm Zach.
I'm Steven.
Crickets. Come on, guys. Come on.
Oh.
The water's fine.
I'm Dom.
And I'm Andre.
And thank you for spending your time with us. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
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 I wasn't sure if we were still allowed to talk or not. I thought that was
It's okay, that's understandable.